so peaceful. What's up guys, thanks for checking out my video. This is a privacy wall that I have been putting off for far too long. One of the biggest reasons was the posts. So I actually designed this in SketchUp to be a post that I had a local welder build. So the way it was designed is it had angle iron on the inside edges of all of the posts, which I later you'll see come back and attach my slats for the privacy wall to. This is a super easy welding project. If you have the means to do this, I definitely would suggest doing it yourself. I'm not set up to weld, so I did have to hire this out, but I got such a great deal on the posts anyways, it was well worth the price of admission. A bulk of the work in this project, since the posts were already built, were to come back and drill, countersink, and then paint the posts where I'd later be attaching the slats to. I chose to go with treated 1x6 fence boards for the slats. Here I am just taking off the one rounded edge. I cut half the boards down to about 5 inches and the balance of the boards down to about 5 3/16. The 5 3/16 was about the width of the curve of the blade, so when I measured out and cut my 3-inch strips, I ended up with a 3-inch and a 2-inch strip. At this point I also got some help in the garage laying out my story stick to drill all the hole patterns throughout all of the posts. I also discovered another use for the Dresta ice pick. It held the story stick in place, so I was able to come back with my center punch and just mark out my rough holes where I'd be coming back and drilling. So I took my time at drilling and I went with 3 different drill sizes, 2 different bits, and then a countersink bit that I would later come back and do. There's well over 100 holes to drill, so let's just leave it to the montage. At this point, I'm not above groveling for likes and subs. So if you like what you see, hey, hit that like button. If you really like what you see, why don't you come along and subscribe? Thanks. Once all my holes were drilled, I came back and I started my paint prep. I did 2 coats of a primer, and then I went back with my black and I hit it with 2 or 3 coats of that. It was raining the day that I actually was ready to set all this up, so we had to come back a week later, and luckily the family was able to help me out and get this rolling. As far as properly securing the posts to the deck, I cut chunks of treated 2x8 that I screwed from the sides as well as the top of the deck. After that, we came back and just reattached the deck boards as the posts were mounted directly on top. I did this for a couple reasons. The biggest reason is I figured I'd get more strength out of the structure if I kind of locked everything together. I used 3-inch galvanized lag bolts to attach everything together. You can see there my wife's actually holding the level because the deck was on a bit of a funny angle, so we used washers just to kind of shim in some of the corners to bring things into plumb. This worked pretty good. The deck obviously is leaning away from the house just for water runoff, so we kind of had to fudge it a little bit just to kind of get the right angle so the boards would line up correctly. If you have any thoughts or suggestions on maybe what you'd have done differently to level these posts, I'd love to hear about those down in the comments. I should point out that we actually finished this on Father's Day this year. It was pretty special that my wife finally got the privacy wall that she wanted for so long. I did it on Father's Day. That was so true, and you know it. You are a good supportive wife. So we used scraps of 1/2-inch plywood as spacers just to kind of get everything even as we were going down. This went really quickly as soon as we kind of hit our stride. I couldn't find a 3/4 inch treated screw, but I found these awesome little brass 3/4 inch screws that I use. I love the way the color of this looks against the black. It's probably one of those details that only I'll ever notice or remember, but yeah, I like the way it looks. This isn't the typical build for me, but I had a lot of fun doing this. I've got a couple new videos coming out in the next few weeks, so if you want to hit that notification bell at the bottom, you can be notified when those are coming out. Thanks guys, see you next time.